It is my absolute pleasure to be joined today by author Dustin Cumer. He is the author of the newly released book, The King Within. And so, Dustin, tell us about this book.
Well, first off, it's pretty much inspired and created from kind of my life story. You know what I mean? I started out kind of discover myself like we all do as a teenager, and um, I was going through a lot of ups and downs as we all do emotionally from being a teenager and everything. And I guess it's more how I saw myself. So I didn't want to do just like a memoir or like a documentary or whatever you call those things. I wanted to do more of something that would grab people's like imagination and grab people's attention, but also tell my own story in a fun action adventure fantasy type way. Growing up, I was always really big into like Indiana Jones and Star Wars and all that stuff. And I just fell in love with storytelling. And I got A's in English, and I always knew that I was a writer. And I actually started writing songs first in poetry, and I never thought I'd write a book, but this thing just flew out of me in 4 days, and it's because I was kind of at a depression point. And during that time, I was, just kind of getting my thoughts out on paper, and it turned into this story, which is actually going to be a three-part series. So I created this character, Landon, and I used to love exploring in the woods, and that's kind of where the story starts. And I was always really big into my dog and things like that. So his companion is obviously a dog, and I like stories that really kind of just really piqued your imagination. Like, what's going to happen next? Where's this going? What you know what I mean? So I just created this whole. It turned into something completely different, but at the same time, I'm very happy with where it ended up, and the storytelling and the depth of the characters, and we all struggle with those inner demons, and I wanted to create a world where light versus dark was a big part of that. So me struggling with, when I was a teenager in school and stuff, I struggled in school, and I had, things going on up here that I didn't understand. And I really wanted to incorporate that into the story of our inner demons and how real it could be for people that are struggling with those types of things.
Well, I think that's incredible because everyone struggles with something, especially at that age, even into adulthood and everything. So this sounds like a great book for anyone. Like you've addressed those issues in a creative way. And I think that's incredible. So, what was the main point of inspiration where you decided, I have got to write this book?
Like I said, it was more of like a therapy for myself at first. But then once I actually kind of got it out to the world, I started getting some messages from people, and they were just like, I can relate to this. This reminds me of what I went through because, I had some problems with, my stepfather. We never really got along. We're good now, but we never really got along then. And I struggled with some health issues with my mother, and so I just had a lot of stuff that I had emotionally that I had to deal with. So, I think that was kind of the inspiration for me. I really wanted it to tell a story that could be relatable, that could help people, but in a very non-traditional way, in a way that they could really, they could like relate to as they were watching a movie. When you watch like a really good movie, your emotions kind of take over, whether it be a romantic comedy or something, your favorite character, gets hurt in the movie or something. Like I wanted to really capture that emotion because with emotion, um, we need emotion to heal and also be aware of what's going on inside of us. And the story itself really does explore that because he's kind of trying to figure out who he is, his purpose. Why is he here on this, planet floating in the middle of nowhere, in space? Like, people need to realize how special they really are and that they have a purpose in this world. And I really wanted to captivate that in the story.
Well, I think that's an incredible message. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us today about you, your book, or that message?
Um, Honestly, I just hope that people really read it multiple times. I wrote it. The first one is more so to kind of lay the foundation of what's to come, and believe me, there's a lot more to come. It really goes into a whole different direction that you're not expecting, and it does have some biblical references. But I needed to do that because, the Bible itself is almost like a roadmap for us, or a guideline, right? Whether you read the Bible or you don't read the Bible, whether you read personal development or not, literally it's all kind of saying the same things, just in a different way. So I wanted to create kind of why we're here, our purpose, and help people also just find themselves within the story somewhere. So I'm excited for people to read it multiple times, and I'm really hoping that they love it enough to where they'll be ready to get the next two books, because the second one's already done. I just got to get it into editing. So I'm excited for everybody to get their hands on it.
Well, I'm excited. Your book it sounds amazing. Sounds like it has an amazing message. Sounds like you're amazing. And we're excited to see, what's ahead for you. We want to let everyone know that this book by Dustin Cumer, The King Within, is available online everywhere books are sold. It's available on Amazon, online at Barnes& and Noble, Reader House, Apple Books, all of those places. And we recommend everyone pick up this book. It really has something for everyone. And so, Dustin, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
You're very welcome.